drink it.
Did we cheers?
I think so.
I think we did.
should
But
do it again.
okay, official cheers.
So excited! I love these.
Me too. I'm so excited for you to. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it, right?
It was about, yeah.
I mean, if
well,
you can, I'm
yeah,
sure you
mine
can.
might as well. I mean, I got nothing to lose, but I reached out to them on Instagram too, and they're
Yeah.
just like, "We love your story. We would love to." So they actually, literally, before I drove over here, I was at Barton Springs and sleeping, of course. And I met a friend there by accident. I literally got out of the water and I was like, and we made eye contact. And it's funny, we both have mustaches, so our mustaches made eye contact.
Okay.
And then we sat there, talked about mental health, which is really funny. And he runs a gym. And then he was like, have you ever talked to Breeze? Breeze would be awesome, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I sent him a message, but they didn't say anything back.
Yeah.
And I hadn't checked my Instagram, which is hilarious because they had messaged me back that day or at least recently, like within the past 24 hours. And then he was like, oh, well, I know one of the partners, so I'm going to have them reach out to you too. But neither of those were like close to each other. So the fact that I have like a level of Bacon closer, like the 6 degrees of Bacon, you can combine Kevin Bacon to every movie within 6 actors. People say it's the laws of, you can
didn't know that.
Yeah. So at least that's how I had first heard of like I think it's, people usually say a number. I can get to you in 3. And so you can name different things to get there, or for actors for Kevin Bacon movies, you can get to Kevin Bacon in less than 6. It's the law of Bacon. I think. I don't know. That's what I remember hearing. And I remember being like, I have 2 degrees now of like, I have whoever messaged me on Instagram. Thank you. And my friend James Quigley, who's running a gym and various other ventures. So.
Well, hey, Corey also has a connect too. So.
Well, that is perfect. I mean,
things are aligning, right?
Who wouldn't want this relaxing tonic? Is my question.
Dude, it's amazing. The last time I did a podcast with Corey here, and we were drinking that, and I was like, dude, I am feeling so great.
And like, honestly,
maybe now you're gonna sleep even better.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't grab the one with caffeine. I was tempted though.
I was like, so worried for you. I don't think that one has caffeine.
It shouldn't.
I would assume
it has 1,900 milligrams of electrolytes.
It tastes super salty, but like really good, especially since you just did a killer workout.
Yeah, I mean, I was wearing one of these. This is another sponsor. This is Path Project. They sent like a couple $100 worth of shirts, which is also cool, super nice. But these are really breathable, which I'm excited for. Texas, because they have these little.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, it's amazing fabric. Yeah. And then I worked out in it, sweated like a mofo, like. Assault bike, like I said, for the 19,000 meters. That was pretty cool. And then I did the ski erg, and I kept hitting my lip with this thing that had the hood on to keep the sun out. But it would roll, the sweat would roll into my mouth. And as weird as this is, I wasn't salty at that point. Like I was like, I'm running out of electrolytes. I don't have anything left.
Yeah.
But it tasted like water. Like I was like, wow. And then I got done, and the thing dried within 5 to 10 minutes and was cool and calm again.
Okay, that's sick.
Yeah, all that to say is that was a pretty cool moment to test those out because I was soaked. The sweat was actually not super salty, but it's interesting to try out like literally in real time what SAPS is because like we talked about earlier, SAPS is a fantastic company. I literally went to a booth of theirs and they were like, yes, we want to help, but I need to go back to their contact because I don't know how I'm going to support all these for 100 days because I want a lot of them.
Right.
I want a can a day at least.
For sure. I think that would be great to have on your. We need it. Okay, let's kick.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host Trina, and you are listening to Let's Just Enjoy This. And I'm sitting here with Alex. Say what's up, Alex.
How's it going?
I'm so excited you're here. Thank you so much for doing this. We are going to dive into Alex's story. He's going to go on an incredible journey. He's going to tell us all about it today, and we're going to learn how we can support and honor this journey that you're about to embark in.
Absolutely.
I won't spill the tea just yet. You guys got to stay and watch, okay? All right. So, Alex, for the world that doesn't know you yet, can you just give us a little bit about who the hell you are?
Man, who am I? That's a great question. Depends on the day I wake up.
Yeah.
And how I feel. But I'm really just I'm an Okie boy from Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, an Okie from Muskogee. Grew up, went to, ended up living in Tulsa for a little bit and then moved down to Austin. And I'm super passionate about fitness. Movement is one of the most important things that anyone can have the ability to use and
Yes.
to develop and to control. And above all else, I think movement is one of the biggest things that saved me. So like from injuries to professions to various careers, they always aligned with movement and helping someone just move a little bit better, because we're all going to be using these bodies until they break or whatever. And everything that I have ever seen is usually by better movement equals better life, better function equals longer life, better function equals better independence. And usually when someone doesn't have to be told what to do via inability to do the task, they're able to live a good life, and they're joyful. And I've seen that as a trainer, as a physical therapist assistant in various settings, and then through my own journey of breaking various pieces of my body. Anyways, that was like the stirring point, was moving down to Austin, getting in the fitness community, and currently right now, I am a trainer at Correct Gym or Correct Fitness, previously On It, and the founder of A to B Fitness, which is training basically out of my garage to help people move as well as possible, as long as possible, least amount of pain, highest level of function, all that jazz. And most importantly, I am the founder of the Next Step Movement, which is a walk to Oregon from Austin, Texas, connecting the next steps that I've done in my life to the last steps of one of my best friends, AJ, who sadly lost his life to suicide. And the journey of that, and the whole process of what it's like to be a human in that story, what it's like to get up every day, make a next step when you can't change things of the past, when you have too many what ifs versus I'm glad I did, and still how do you continue to move and navigate life. And so I started the Next Step Movement, which is, I know, something we'll get into, but it'll be August 31st, where I walk 2,560 miles to tell a story for 100 days of what it's like to be human and continue to move when every emotion tells you otherwise.
Love that. You said something that stuck out, and I'm curious what that means. You said that fitness saved you. Is there a specific thing you're talking about, or you mean all the injuries and you kind of pieced it together? Like,
I think it's kind of feels like I become Sherlock Holmes in a very humble way is what I mean. Because you don't notice till everything's kind of done. But I think in retrospect, there was a lot of me that fell in love with sports, but would have an injury, sprain an ankle. Okay. Break an arm. Okay. Break a wrist. Okay. Dislocate an elbow. Okay. Tear an ab. That was a curveball. Break your back. 3 herniated discs. Like all those little things were things that most people would hate to experience.
There's so many things.
Yeah, there was a lot.
The back even?
Yeah, that was a bad one. I got twisted up in a football play. My legs didn't feel right. And then we went to the doctor, and they were like, this man needs a back brace.
Would you say that was your worst injury?
I would say probably the worst injury. Immediate pain. Actually, this is a great podcast to do this on, is if you look under my chin, right here, there's just a few of these edges. My brother kicked a skateboard underneath me. I proceeded to bust my chin about 8 times. So that's another point. But I was sitting on the wire of a tennis court that, like, it was all beaten down, but it was in our neighborhood. And my brother kicked a skateboard at me, and it hit my foot. And then it kept rolling, and I kept my hands on the tennis court and then slammed my chin. Oh. And the first thing he said was, "Don't tell Mom." And so that was just, that immediate pain was pretty bad. I had a go-kart snap this arm, and I didn't have pain until I looked at it, and I was like, oh my God, that's really bad. But probably the worst injury, probably of them all, was I landed in wrestling this way because a guy slammed us, which was illegal. It was illegal in that one.
Cheating.
He was coming back from learning how to Greco, which is a lot of slams, and I was in freestyle. Not that matters. It does. But he threw me down, and we both landed on my elbow, and my elbow made my arm got really small. I was like, oh my God. Oh, and I know that voice changes everything, but I remember when it happened, like, I go right back to it of like, ugh. And then I had to sit in a waiting room for 90 minutes to an hour, just like holding I told my dad it felt like I had a bone chandelier because we were in his old F-250 with a trailer on the back going through the country road of Oklahoma.
No.
And I was just like, ooh. My brother took a picture with his BlackBerry of the x-ray, And he's like, bro, it looks like an ice cream scoop. And I'm like, it was like 90 minutes, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm just like looking at my fingers, and I'm cold. And I didn't know all the medical terms at the time, so I'm sitting here experiencing like almost shock because I'm getting faint, I'm getting cold, and I'm just like, oh God. And my arm's just stuck. Not to go on that too long, but basically, Dr. Weaver from Muskogee just goes, hey, Alex, look at me. And just popped it back in. And it stayed pretty swollen and everything. But that whole span of time was very, very long in my head. But I couldn't escape it. Like my coach told me, Coach Peters literally passed away Saturday. R.I.P. brother. Was the meanest man that I've ever met, but the kindest heart that a person could have. That's just how he was. But he was like, Bradley, why are you crying? And I was like, Coach, and he goes, all right, well, we can't change that. Get you a hoodie, sling it up, and we'll call your parents. Go sit over there. That was it.
Just so fact.
And I was like, and he's like, get off the mat, go stand over there. Like, you can't change it. Never said sorry. And then my dad was like, hey, son, I know it hurts, but we still have to go to the doc.
Yeah.
You still have to wait. You still have to, like.
So many things.
Just there. And I will say learning to sit with that began the process. Because a lot of people get injured. They're blown away by that pain. They're blown away by the process of how could they ever have hurt themselves? How could they have ever have injured something? Mm-hmm. And so then there's this almost victim mentality of this is so surprising. How on earth could I have hurt my shoulder or dislocated? Like gravity's very effective. Force is applied to you in various situations that people have no idea about. Like people fall and shatter their hip and they die. Over the age of 65, like the likelihood of mortality is like 50% after a major hip injury. Like, so
it's wild statistic.
That's when you're older and all that. But like luckily I had all these injuries when I was younger, and I had to experience a lot of pain and a lot of recovery. But I would see week 1 through 4, and my ankles or my let's go to this arm, I got 20 degrees, and I could squeeze to where I could almost bruise an apple.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to start doing 20 minutes on this erg machine. Now this is also a 7th grader that wants to be the badass that he was, but I couldn't. Yeah. My arm was all mangled.
Yeah.
And so, like, they would massage my arm. I got a chance to get it stretched out by holding a 1-pound can of soup. If you're a 7th grader and you're trying to think of how badass you are and a tomato soup can makes you quiver.
Yeah.
That whole process from that point to, like, now I'm 30 and I clean and press 315 or clean and jerk 315 over my head, and I forget to think about that. And, like, this thing's had nerve damage, has been broken, dislocated. I broke my wrist. Like, I've torn part of my labrum. Like, and I've had and bone fragments were taken out of this, and there's new ones in. And still, like, it's still kicking. And, like,
it's like talking.
Yeah, it does a little. Yeah, it gets a little bone fragments in there. But all those things are extremely painful. There's moments where you feel so isolated, and there's an inability to complete a function. But if someone like physical therapy trainer, and you start at the smallest available step, you'll get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You'll make a moment where I've seen people with strokes do shit that's way cooler than I'm doing on this walk, and way cooler than I've done with my body. Like, they're able to make everybody almost think that they haven't had a stroke when their leg doesn't work. They're able to rotate around a hip and take a step and lock their bones in place and do it again and again and again and again for almost an entire day without anyone having an idea.
Yeah.
Or people like learning how to use a quarter of their body, or an amputee, or a kid with MS. Like, once you have gone through the things that you've gone through and you're appreciative of it, in the sense of movement saving me, and then you've seen people in wheelchairs, in beds, with the eyes of someone who wants to live a very full and effective life that they either cause themselves, or people that sadly developed Parkinson's or had a stroke, or whatever those things are.
Yeah.
You don't have the option to feel sorry for yourself when pain. You almost have to be grateful, because if your body can tell you that there is an issue wrong, you have the ability to fix it before it says, we don't even know what the hell is happening. We need surgery, or we need blah, blah. And I don't want to also spend all my money on surgery too. So
there's that.
But that's kind of how movement saved me. There was my other elbow. But it slowly taught me without words, but through action and through moments, through no audience at all.
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting in an arena. I was sitting in a therapy room getting electrodes attached to me and ice packs on me and just hoping that some of the pain would get a little bit less or the swelling would go down so I could play the next season of X, Y, or Z. Yeah. And little did I know it was building resilience for everything.
Yep.
Because once everything's stripped away, you don't have enough money for food, you don't have money for rent, or your car breaks down, or your girlfriend breaks up with you, or, and those are real things, not just like your girl, but like you lose the love of your life. That's the stuff that halts you. You get a career change or you get fired and your life is ruined. And like when you get into those self-isolation things, you're scratching at the universe or life itself and trying to say, please, there's something that I want to hang on to that I have control of, or that I have the ability to cope, or a contrast to push off of.
Yeah.
And when it's at the bare minimum of even down to the musculature of inhale, exhale, if I have the ability to consciously draw breath, and that's what I'm grateful for, that kind of ties it all together. All these fucking injuries are a blessing at the end of the day. Like, I guess if that sums it up, it's like once you learn the value of everything that your body does to navigate everything, you're so grateful for it, even when you don't want to be. Like, you're not like, man, I hate that I'm dizzy. This is such bullshit. Your blood pressure, your position, your vertigo, your vestibular system.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I hate doing burpees because I get dizzy. No, you hate them because you don't know why you're getting dizzy and you're not used to changing position so fast. I hate doing squats because my knees hurt. No, you hate squats because you overload your knees and it feels uncomfortable and you don't do it again. So therefore you never proceed and progress.
Now, some people might argue with you on the burpee, Richard,
yeah.
But fair point.
Burpees.
Fair point.
That's
and
true.
you said something. I mean, you said a lot of great things, but one of the things that
This is
stood
a
out
tangent.
was I love the tangent. Was that I think that it's easy to sulk in the misery of I'm broken and I'm helpless. I can't do anything about it. But there seems to always be that moment. Something happens where they're like, let me fix the knee. What's wrong with the knee?
Mm-hmm.
Not, I suck at squats. I can't do squats. Oh, squats hurt me because whatever. It's like, let's fix the knees, figure out why that is. And then now all of a sudden you're in a damn squat competition. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh my God, man, yeah. I'm so grateful for what happened back then because whatever. But in the moment, there's like this like, it's almost like the 5 stages of grief or something that you have to go through that with injuries, with everything in life.
And there's a death of a function.
Yeah.
People need to validate. People don't realize that happens, but like sit for an entire day.
Yeah.
Don't use your legs.
Yeah.
There is a sense of identity crisis when you can't use your legs or you can't participate in the environments that you're used to.
Yeah.
Like, that's why movement's so valuable. Is like, imagine so many things you can't participate in because you can't actively move your body. Like, that's a pickle. And it's easy to, like, the bad part is the only way that you change that is if you change yourself. Like, I can't throw it at everybody and say, please, I want you to move better. Like, the only way that they consistently get the blessings of gravity is by moving under it the right way.
Yeah.
Or they get all the curses, was what I call them. And I call that the gospel, which is kind of a bummer. But it's also beautiful. Like, you either get blessed by tendons, ligaments, and muscle tissue with function and autonomy, or you get compensatory patterns and you just feel achy and you have arthritis. And that's all because gravity is literally just like right there, right on that stuff. And it's so avoidable. It's simple. It's just not easy.
Yeah. Well, and it's taking the time to figure it out instead of just labeling it something and then assuming this is the rest of my life. It's now this thing.
And I guess who would think about that like that? Like, most humans are thinking about the money they're making or the person they want to impress or the muscles that look good. Not like, I wonder if my serratus is on today. Like, what?
Oh, literally.
They're like, my shoulder hurts. I need to get 4 shots of cortisone. Not like, I should stretch.
Yeah.
I wonder if I should externally rotate and then like,
yeah.
Oh, that feels better. That's cool.
Yeah, that's so funny. I'm on a journey of this is the why. I'm not going to say it's a silly why, but I'm on a journey of I want to be in run clubs and like not die while they're just running and having conversations, and I'm like, let's go without me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't just show up and run and do whatever. It was like, okay, how can I in my off time do things to be better at the thing so that I can do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of like, well, I want to be there, but I can't.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, so many humans do that. It's where it's like I want to be there, or I have that desire to be there, but then it's too far away. So instead of just looking at chopping up the steps to make it as small as feasibly possible to make a progression, we go, nah, fuck that. That's too hard. And I do that all the time with everything. But those things, those very small things that become a very few amount of choices where it's like, this is what I need to do, and I have to figure this out. Usually it's because you're backed up against a corner, like Payne, or like Austin is the freaking, how many, there's like over 100 run clubs.
There's so many. There's too many. There's not too many, but it's
yeah. I'm surprised they don't run into each other. There's like running, like
maybe they do.
I would think it would be really cool if everybody. There was
just like a whole community like event, like everybody meets at Zilker and then just like
battle.
Maybe Zilker's not the best spot. We'll figure it out.
Barton.
Once I'm in there.
Yeah, once you infiltrate the.
Yeah, exactly.
The troops.
It's on the bucket list.
I don't know how people run and talk. I look like the saddest person when I run. That's why I'm walking, but running, like I just get to a point where I'll get it done, but like I was with Mike Lombard and he was telling me something. One bit was a quote by Napoleon, then another bit was like he was pumping me up.
Yes.
And he was having a great conversation, and then he looked at me and he was like, dude, no, I'm so sorry. And I looked at him, I was like, dude, I'm listening to every word. This is the longest sentence that I can give you, and I'm done after this. I have the next like 20 minutes. I'm not talking to you. And I was like, I'll run with you. I was like, and literally I ran out of breath, and then I looked at him and was just like, and
floor is yours,
dude. Because I was struggling, and it's weird because I'm also the guy that's supposed to be walking to Oregon, but I'm struggling with 3.5 miles. But that's running,
it's a whole different
laborious
thing.
Walking, but
which is let's just get into that.
Oh yeah,
that is just like. How many miles did you say you're walking?
So it'll be 2,560 miles as long as I don't make a wrong turn.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll be from Correct's front doors, so Correct Fitness's front doors to First and High Street, Oregon City.
What is your... Okay, first of all, tell us why you're doing this. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you want to dive in a little bit more on that.
All right, we'll frame this tangent. And... for anybody listening, just to be frank, like I'm a pretty vulnerable guy, so buckle up. All right, so it was 2021 in February, and I was going through a divorce, more or less an identity shift of what I wanted as a kid and what I wanted as an adult, and the honesty and transparency to relate that to somebody that I really cared about. So, i.e., the divorce and communication of like, we need to find people that can care for each other at the level.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal woman. All that stuff's happening. Life is happening for me, and I'm figuring that out.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I have to get these objects of my friend AJ's into somewhere versus our house because of this going on.
Yeah.
So I call AJ, and we've talked before, and we were best friends since the 9th grade, and we move stuff from A to B. I put the keys in my truck. We talk about everything under the sun. With my life changing, there was still this sense of finding positivity of like where I'm going to move, what we're going to do. And then I wake up the next morning with 2 messages from my friend Cole and his mom. And it just said, AJ's gone. And then AJ committed suicide. And that was the first time I've ever been. I've been in realities where I don't like something. I've had moments where you can't change. Like we go back to my pain. We go back to breaking things. That's one thing. When you realize that that what you said in the last conversation, like that you not only is the last thing, but that you might have actually missed your friends like ask for help.
Yeah.
Alters you. And I remember like reading that and just being like, no. I just talked to him. And then my phone fell. I ended up hitting the ground, which is like, what the heck? And everybody's had a moment like that.
Yeah.
And so years fast forward, I ended up moving down to Austin. My goal was to see his last steps before I moved to Austin because I was going to travel around the country and then stop there. Well, life happened. I moved down to Austin, and then I was driving in my car the past 4 months ago or 3 months ago, and I was going to treat patients. Again, another reference to looking at someone at the end of their life and wondering, what is his life worth? What's the point? And there's no way people don't do that on a much more regular basis, particularly now when we've seen all the glimmer and shiny, shimmery things on Instagram or on TikTok or in somebody's pocket, not yours, and we're wasting our time avoiding all that. So all that's happening, and I'm thinking about my life, and then I think about my friend, about AJ, and I go back to that moment. I remember, like, dude, you need to go see his steps. Like, you need to make it to his last steps. Like, the only way that you've made it this far is because every time you wanted to take your last step, you leaned in and was like, what is the next positive thing? How do I change? Not even emotionally. You can't fix the emotion, but I can maybe fix a pattern. I can fix a location. I can fix me moving. I can fix me in nature. I can fix me in finding a community.
Yeah.
I can fix me in seeing others, in seeing myself. Like, and none of those I have to feel better in, but doing those will probably bring some positive thing.
Yeah.
And Correct, previously on it, was a gym that I just, on one of those days, I remember just showing up to. And then having a conversation, moving a barbell, getting in front of someone, having a safe space to build that community and culture, slowly shift things that felt insurmountably painful in my life, and continue to make all these next steps. And then I was remembering one of my next steps was to go see AJ's last steps. And then I thought in my head, well, that's a little irrelevant now. Now you're a trainer. Now you're trying to make money. Now you're trying to, secure the bag or secure your future because you're really starting to take off. And I was thinking, well, what if I can't financially do it? That's really getting in the way of this lifestyle that's getting set up. And I was thinking, well, right now in finances and all this, how would I do it? And I was like, oh, you could walk. And then when I was thinking that, there's a piece of me saying, like, well, could I physically do it? And all the things of, if you miss out on something when you're 30, if you ruin your life because blah, 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 like if you do this, you say no to X, Y, or Z, miss out on something, financially can't do it, or physically can't do it. And all the things saying I can't, politely and respectfully, Mom, Charles, Pam and Charles are my parents. Nobody put that in my mind, and I don't have blood in my veins that fucking are going to be owned by that. Like, that's just not non-negotiable. So in that car, I made that commitment to, why would any of those make a decision for me?
Yeah.
None of them say Alex on that. None of them say, like, that's exactly who I am. So then I was like, fuck it, let's figure this out. And I was going to walk 2,560 miles in the process of connecting the next steps that I've taken and physically presenting that story. And it was mainly for me, but also so many people have had people lose their lives, not know what to do with what happens when we've lost somebody. What happens when I myself, what world am I living in where my what if with my friend AJ, what would have his next steps been? If I was in front of him and walking with him like we did in the from 7th to 9th grade, all the way through high school, and then life got busy. If we were walking like 7th graders, probably wouldn't have killed himself. We would have looked at each other in the eyes. I would have been standing there with him, or we would have gone on a walk. Movement would have raised his dopamine, changed the location, maybe changed his intention. If he was around nature, which he was, but isolated, walking in nature probably would have benefited him. Him finding a purpose and being seen in a community and seeing others fully, all those metrics probably would have saved his life.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion. We wouldn't have, nobody wants to self-isolate and disassociate and finally say, after self-sabotaging themselves, that they're done.
Yeah.
Because that's far too human and makes too much sense to too many people that I've talked to.
Yep.
For us not to be able to address that in a well-fashioned manner and make that way more normal. Because if we can talk about my goddamn fucking bench press, but we can't talk about how the heart is underneath it, then I don't give two shits about what you lift. Like, that's why movement is there. Is so that we can still continue to lift each other up, not lift. You're telling me. Woo! Welcome to Sunday church.
Damn, that was good. That's a t-shirt, baby.
But so then, like, I want to live in a world where it's so much easier to address, I'm fucked up, I'm not okay. Not, I hope this email finds you well. Like, that's not what this world is. And once we address that, we can do still productive and effective things in our communities and put money in our pockets. But by intention of being present, not by providing something because we're scared we don't have enough. Yeah. And like all those things, like And all the next step is just being able to do something, because it's one of the lines that I've said as I've done this. It's not a fucking movie. Yeah. You're not waiting for a perfect time. You're gonna be the awkward friend that says, "Hey, are you okay? How's your heart?"
Yeah.
Okay. Or you're gonna be the friend saying, "Hey, I'm not okay. Like, I need help."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, that facilitation is huge, and I'm in a community that does that. And it's not by this magical, grandiose, this is how you do it. It's the next step. It's you are taking a step towards something that you want to do regardless of your emotions, and you have a safe place to be able to weather the storm of that with a community that sees you and will love you regardless.
Yeah.
And like the vulnerability piece, like they're not gonna, like, having that around, like if you walk with your friends, this world would change. Yeah. That's bar none. And like, that's the message. If I don't raise, which we have $13,000, which is awesome, to go to mental health and suicide prevention, it's absolutely phenomenal. Several sponsors and all that. But above all else, if people don't intentionally make on a personal level a chance to walk with their friends, it's great that I'm making an Instagram story, but it's about the stuff that's not seen. It's about the moments when we thought we couldn't and we walked in front of a friend.
Yeah.
Or we went to an event because we just wanted to move, or we wanted to get out of our own heads. And that unexpected, without an expectation and a decision to take a step, you have the opportunity for magic.
Yeah.
And that is everybody's opportunity. It may not be the most grandiose thing. You may not be on Justin Bieber's yacht, but you could be in a fucking paddleboard with a couple friends and having brews. And if you can't enjoy that, if you can't enjoy the breath in your lungs, like, take a minute.
Yeah.
And if you can't, tell someone. Like, I have friends that I can do that.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed to be able to do that, because I can't do this stuff on my own. Mm-hmm. And I don't, and that's the reality in it. Creating a world where people can go, I'm glad I did talk to my friend. I'm glad that we did facilitate this. And if all that happens because I walked from a gym that was able to save my life and movement and all this conglomerate of what makes me me, and just take those tiny little steps, even whenever I'm aching to not, and people are able to do that in the community, that's fucking sick. Like, that's exactly why we live. We create things to initiate evoke some emotion, some change, not because people need to be saved or that we're their savior, but because just humans create, humans love, humans give. And when we're doing that, we're usually our highest versions of self. We aren't hiding to save ourselves. We're just being.
Yeah.
And like, may sound hippy dippy, may sound this or that, but at the bare minimum, that's achievable. There are some tickers that we can get to get people to love each other more on a practical level, not on this like heart on Instagram, but genuinely walk with people in the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Friendship.
It doesn't even have to literally be physically walking.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was on a phone and walking in my city while someone was walking in their city. And we're still walking, because walking's great, but we're talking remotely, you know, and or FaceTime or whatever. Like,
the intentionality to be like, we want to be seen by all, but we're scared to be seen fully.
And you know what's funny? I was thinking about this because I've went to Onnit. That's where I met you. And which, by the way, sidebar, I do want to say that the moment that I met you, I was like, I love that guy. I don't know who that guy is, but his energy is great. And I instantly was like following him on Instagram. And you have the Instagram account that, like, I will purposely get off of Instagram so that I don't waste missing a moment that you share, because you know how sometimes you grab your phone and then you just get on Instagram and you're just like scrolling, but you're not.
Yes.
You're not there to be present. You're just there. I'm like, I got to get off because I don't want to miss a video that you post, because your videos are always so valuable, and there's like something that comes away from your videos always.
Thank you.
Since I've met you, I don't even remember when that was. Maybe 8 months ago. I don't know. But I was like...
And that's also good to know, because this journey's teaching me, like, if you want to get the algorithm or you want to do this, and, like, sometimes you're just like, I just want to tell a story. Like
you were doing that before. Like, this was before you even started the journey talk. You know what I mean? Yeah. You were, like, doing something in, like, your backyard, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I love that.
Balance stuff. I was, like, standing on one leg, and I was like, if you want to live a long time, do this when you brush your teeth. And I remember being like, no one's gonna like.
No, I think that stuff is so, especially on Instagram, because people don't want to do that on Instagram. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's like a TikTok thing or something.
Yeah,
but
people need.
you,
Yeah,
but you did it, and I was like, I'm obsessed with this guy. He's so great. And then when I found out my buddy Jay was working out with you, I can't remember what he said.
Gosh.
He said you said something like, "We're gonna get weird with our bodies" or something funny.
Oh yeah, I was like,
I love this guy.
Well, and that's the thing too. If you can break down, I think that's probably one of the things too. Is like the best way to interact with people is to let the awkwardness happen. So fun because then everyone's like, oh, but like the ability to, I think, make people laugh, and that's one of the things. Like that's also a thing I do have to say because as I talked about this walk, there's grit, there's all that stuff, but like there's also people in your life that make you laugh so hard that you're like, I wanted to be in that room.
Yeah,
like I wanted to show up. Like hearing that about me is a great example of who AJ was to me and like how we carry these people, because he was that guy that you wanted to laugh with, that you wanted to cry with, that just could evoke emotion. He wanted to be an actor, and that kid never had anything new. I say kid, that man never had anything new or a ton of money in his bank account, but you would have thought he was the richest person in every room. Mm-hmm. And like, that's such a beautiful thing. People forget the ability to make someone laugh or cry with them. Like there's just like, you can't teach that in the sense of like, sometimes you need that flame or that spark around you so you can see it in yourself. And like, that's who AJ was for me. And if like people say that about me now, and there's moments where I'm like, wow, like you don't know what all you're doing, but sometimes like people think your energy's naive. People think that like, oh, that person's just too, my mom would say facetious or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, you only laugh because of the tears that you've been able to figure out. Yeah. Like that's, and not to make that bad, but just like life happens, and I'm not naive. I've just looked at the dark long enough to light my own candle, and like that's what AJ was. So all I'd say is like to hear that like that's what I've been able to do, because like so I think we're so hard on believing that we're that person, but when we've had someone in our life that helped us see that or emulated that, which he was both, it's super fucking validating and synergistic towards just this being also the talk about the walk, and just like, I don't know, like the fact that I'm doing even podcasts. Like I was a guy just wanting to help people move well who lost a friend, and now we're creating something that's much bigger than myself, and that's literally it. And it wasn't anything fancy. It was literally just like, I guess I got to tell someone about it. And then I just started telling people about it, and then it became a GoFundMe, and then somebody taught me how to write an email. That's right. And then like just learned how to use AI, not use AI, like what is on brand, what's not on brand, what's an algorithm, what is a hashtag important.
It's like a whole thing, because you've created a business out of this, you said.
Yeah, so well, the goal would be in the future to make this more of a nonprofit itself.
Okay.
Just in the sense of, I think if people, like I said, kind of in that long ass spiel, if they find nature, they're moving, like in nature, movement, they're seen and seen by others fully, and then they have a purpose that pulls them forward. All those metrics allow people to just avoid that disassociation and be able to be okay whenever something doesn't make sense in their head, because there's too much of us as humans that have that. So the nonprofit would be associated with helping people find communities and environments where they can fulfill that purpose, be seen in community, navigate movement in nature that's accessible. Yeah. So I don't even know what that looks like, but that just makes fucking sense. Particularly, I'd also like to help with communities that are recovering from addiction, and then also people that are stricken with either some sort of poverty or inability to navigate this world in an effective manner. Yeah. And like, that also means that that's a lot of people that haven't been able to have a fucking silver spoon. Mm-hmm. And that's why it would be a nonprofit at the same time. But like, that's like, you can't have $1 million. You can sit on $1 million couch, and you can sit in a wheelchair with someone pushing you around and breathing through a straw, and you'll still think, I want more. I want a little bit more. Yep. And the only way you're going to navigate that is by being okay with where you are. Yep. And no one's outside of that.
Yeah.
There's no object, there's no person, unless you're okay with the person inside you, and that becomes more normal. So in a perfect world, I would love to make the next step movement something to assist in communities such as that. And like, if that's what my name is, like that's what's on my tombstone, that's pretty cool.
LFG.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. You when I went sat on, I keep saying on it. I'm not there yet. It's
not correct.
Correct. It's correct. When I was at Correct, I remember walking in like, oh shit, it's like serious in here.
People are shirtless.
But like everyone that was like, you got to check out On It. Mike Lombard.
Yeah.
You got to check out On It. The community is so great. Blah, blah, blah. All these things. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. And then I go and I'm like, oh shit, it's scary. But it really wasn't. And there's people like you. There's so many buff people there. By the way, you're really buff. But like to see, this was one of the things that I noticed about your content was you are buff, like huge.
I have muscles sometimes.
He's got big ass muscles, and you're very attractive, and you're funny. You have great attitude, great energy, but you are still able to show emotion. And I think that is so powerful now because, to your point, it doesn't really matter what you're benching, right? It's like it matters what's going on inside. And I think that Correct, everyone, and a lot of people in Austin, honestly, it's being more visible and more like, okay, I can be vulnerable here, and like nobody's going to be like, bro, we don't talk about that here. You know what I mean? Like it's common now, I feel like.
Yeah, seeing that as a standard, and like, like I was at Barton Springs, and one of my friends, James Quigley, like we sat there, looked at the water, pardon me, that was the breeze, sat there, and we talked about our emotions as men and where we find shame and value. And that may sound weird or whatever to some, but that also makes perfect sense as human beings. Like we were two men. I don't know how old James is. I want to say he's like maybe in his 40s, and I just turned 30. And for us to sit there and both talk about like, what are we reaching for that is unnecessary for us as men to be dragged by, or what is our impulses, or why do we act a certain way, or how do we navigate even our biology? Like that's such a valuable conversation on a Wednesday morning, and that happened because we both saw each other at Barton Springs.
Well, but that wasn't just the reason it happened. Like the other thing is like you could have been there checking out people, scoping the scenery, talking about partying that night, but instead somehow you guys saw each other and were like, let's get deep.
Yeah, like you see those eyes?
You know what I'm saying? But like, why? Why did you guys look at each other and think like, you know what we could do right now?
And it's weird because I'm not even like. At first, I did good things because it was the right thing to do, and I was told that.
Yeah,
and I love that.
Yeah,
and I was taught so much discipline. Yes. But as I got older, I questioned things. I lost a bit of my faith, all that stuff, and then you become maybe nihilistic and be like, oh, the world doesn't matter, but I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And still, objectively, times where I've had emotional, deep conversations where those are the ones that make me want to go out. Those are the ones that make me want to like interact with people. Like I may not have a reason, but if you're telling me taking shots on 6th Street is better than like a few either mushrooms or deep meditative talks or moments with people that are so there with you that you don't want to leave, like there's no way that party scene or like, and you can go have those funs, but rarely do people want to stay in those moments.
Yeah.
And like having genuine conversation with people about things that they're actually thinking about. That's the other thing too, is I've gotten really good at asking questions.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm learning. This podcast may not be the best one, but you know, like
this is about your journey.
Yeah. And that's the intimidating part is as a guy that's a big talker, learning to like, it's amazing what happens when you listen to people. Or like since I've gone on walks, you go on one or you sit there with James and you just let someone like just start talking and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Versus like whatever we're doing in our brain is so hard to be in the immediate present because we want to distract ourselves in this world now, right?
I know.
Like,
it's so hard.
I was driving and I was like, man, I should really turn on some music. And I was like, or that's my phone. Or you can just sit there and roll the window down.
I started doing that.
I drive with one.
I used to always have music. I used to always have noise all the time. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm never just with myself. What am I doing?
Yeah.
And then now it's like amazing.
Heck, you picked me up from Correct, and I just had my eyes closed for like 40 minutes on different machines.
Yeah, you did.
So I was just. It's weird. It's weird. People don't allow themselves to be. I don't allow myself to be bored, and I'm going to be not bored. I'm going to be unstimulated other than nature and talks with my friend and walks
Yeah.
for 100 days.
You're going to learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
So what? Okay, we're short on time, but I'm curious.
Don't worry.
One of the things I love to ask people about is like the tools, which you kind of mentioned a little bit. And when I say tools, I mean like you already said community, stuff like that. But other things you said, all right, I'm going to walk it.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell am I going to get from here to there? Like what kind of tools are you using to get from here to there? Like are you staying in a car? Are you staying in hotels?
Perfect.
You know, like what does that look like?
Well, we're going to reach out to communities along the path for either an individual that is doing something in that community to highlight, a news station, and then a potential business that offers either lodging or food that is also impacting their community. Now, that's the process, and then seeing what happens out of that. The other thing that's happening is we'll have a van, which a friend at Correct is actually letting me use, and we'll have one individual driving it, and they'll check on me every 30 miles that is available to check in. There'll be some times where I'm backpacking. There actually will be an REI list or Whole Earth Provisions list, which is a local Austin company, for some of the backpacking items that could be bought. So if someone wants to donate but they don't feel comfortable with the GoFundMe, they're able to give a particular item.
That's sweet.
Which will be really helpful.
It's like a baby shower thing.
Yeah, like bear spray. Only black bears. They're little. I can get bigger than them. That's like cool.
Yeah.
Or there's like a bear jar where you can hide stuff, which is mainly for other animals too. But that's the main use, and I'm not trying to be a martyr, but I'm also not trying to just torture myself. Vivo Barefoot's going to be the shoes that I wear. So barefoot.
Like multiple pairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have some cool boots. I actually have a pair on right now.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
It's crazy that you're calling those boots.
Yeah, well,
Are they considered boots?
No. There's an actual pair of boots.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like 4 pairs
boots.
of shoes. There's 4 pairs of shoes that they sent. Hopefully a few more, but they're super comfortable. I love the foot padding. And then there's 2 friends of mine, Carrie and Nico, that started a videography company, and they are traveling with me. And Carrie was one of the first people that I met in the sauna at Onnit, or Correct, when I first walked in. We both didn't want to talk to anyone, and that was what connected. And now he's one of my drivers and videographers.
I love this.
Nuts. And then I'm using a app called Komoot right now.
Okay.
Garmin to track the steps as far as I can. And then Komoot and Garmin InReach also to use my phone. But Komoot navigates the entire map for me.
Cool.
And splits it up into days, elevation, and things like that. But it'll be Correct up to Round Rock, and I basically go to West Texas all the way to the side, and then I climb a little bit through New Mexico, up through Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and then Oregon City, Oregon. Wow. Yeah.
Is there one thing in particular that you're worried about or scared about, or is it kind of just like...
I have a high sense of like, this is going to be okay. I think the most difficult thing for me will be like probably the logistics of how often the van can check on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried like, what is my limit?
Mm-hmm.
How tired will, like, day 20, that's one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 200 miles. That's something, but we're talking like day 50 when I'm like about to walk into the Grand Canyon and I'm questioning existence. And I'm like, do I have the wherewithal to actually do this?
Yeah.
And that's part, I do think I do, but it depends. It's all going to be based upon like the 1%. How well am I sleeping? How well am I loving myself? What's behind the heart of the step versus just the bench press and all that. So, and the scariest thing, the biggest worry is either running out of food randomly. Mm-hmm. I mean, I doubt I'll die because I'm pretty good at that. I can stay hungry. But like just my body just like shutting down because I don't have enough stuff.
Yeah.
Which would be a pickle. And sleeping at night in the wilderness is going to be like, I've camped, but I haven't camped consecutively by myself in
Are you
various.
sleeping outside?
There's going to be some times where I'm up in the mountains and like a van can't reach me, so I'll just have to like have like 4 to 6 days stints where I'm like, all right, I'm in this National Reserve study area.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna try to sleep.
Are you gonna have like a GoPro on you or something?
Yeah, we're gonna have the stick,
Yes.
and then there may be some shots with the drone, and people are more than welcome to join in the walk and come out. Now that's just like if there's an airport close by and we can coordinate the drive. But
Yeah.
I'm also gonna steal everybody's energy if they're willing to walk and we can find a spot for them to get back. Because I doubt people want to walk multiple days with me, but it'll be about a marathon a day for 100 days.
This is sick.
It's
I'm
absolutely
so excited
insane.
for you. So, okay. So I'll be able to share, I'm assuming you'll be able to give me where people can go to donate,
Yes.
multiple ways to donate. Follow your journey on, I'm assuming Instagram. Will there be another place that they can follow you?
I'm learning how to use this thing called TikTok.
Oh.
I do, you know,
Okay.
I should get better at it because I've heard you can.
You'd be
you can-
great on TikTok.
Yeah. That's what I need to. First, I need to. Yeah. I have it up. I just don't know. I got to get better at this stuff.
Yeah.
But TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, I have a video up, but I'm going to present more and more.
Cool.
Particularly Instagram will be the mothership of it, and then other ones will tangent off as I get better at this process
Right.
and telling the story. There is a GoFundMe called Support Alex's Walk that is available, which I'll make sure is up and available via this stuff.
Cool.
And then I'm trying to think of what was the other ways. The RAI registry is going to be one. I say if you have an Instagram, I would follow that. I'm not good on Facebook. I think it's connected.
Yep.
And then if there's anything else on following me, Komoot. Yeah, download Komoot. You
Oh.
can literally follow me right
That's
now.
so
You can
cool.
click on
Like
my
live.
you can click on the profile and actually let me see if this is on.
That's
Not a sponsor
yet.
yet. That was a great one. No. I don't need. I love it when my phone decides. That's the other scary thing is what if my phone glitches? Apple, I'm calling you out. Your storage stuff is getting weird. It's probably because I have to download all this stuff to make videos and stuff now, or I have so much recorded. So, Komoot, I'll go to my profile, and anyone can. I've got 0 followers. You guys should follow me. But it's like Alex Bradley, boom, and then my only collection, which I believe is shared to the public. It's called the Next Step Movement, and it shows 100 days, and it's going to be
Shows the
2,574 miles, and it shows
wow.
every single day.
So will it show you? Oh, it's live. Like
Yeah, so it can do show more, and then I'll post every day where I am, and hopefully have a tracker with that piece.
yeah.
Seeing what technology best does that.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll go through. It goes through the distance, the time, the elevation, and I can look at the weather of the day, get directions.
Oh, I didn't even think about the weather.
Yeah. And what's weird is I'll be going north
Oh, this starts August 31st.
August 31st. Okay. So please, Austin gods with the heat. It's been calm, but it's been 100. It was 107 today. So said your car, but that's disheartening. But I'll be going through the West Texas just in the heat in August, and then as I curve up, hopefully it's gonna get colder, and then I'll be in mountains too. So that'll be interesting. There's a few colder themed sponsors that should be helping too. There's also going to we're going to try to do a cold plunge and convo for every truck stop.
Ooh.
So given the right place and location,
right.
like a 7-Eleven, just so everybody knows, I'm also not perfect. Like I'll probably have one of these, and I might have, if the gentleman wants to have a Marlboro Red and a cold plunge, I might have one with him.
Yeah.
Have a few conversations.
You got to celebrate every day.
Boy, howdy.
Going, you know?
I say probably. I will.
Absolutely.
But I think it would be cool to get truckers on film asking different questions on mental health and us just having a cold plunge there. And it would make me feel very happy at the end of the day. Dopamine spike. That's another thing too, is on this, like, I'm not trying to kill myself. I'm trying to show people also this is hard, but not the absolute most impossible thing. You're doing much harder things as a human with being a mom, with raising like a generation, with like even people just drive their cars all the time. Like the likelihood of a car crash, like that's important. Running your like people don't realize their own value. This is just a conduit to realize like, oh, he got through that. That I can do that too. I actually go through something much harder. It's being me. It's being people don't give themselves enough credit. And yeah, like SAPS, Breeze, like there's gonna be so many mechanisms that I'm learning myself on like, what do I do when I don't have anything? What do I do whenever I'm just dead? How
will
do I
all of this stuff be in the van from day one, and then will there be more like
we may have drop off points.
Yeah.
And we'll have the individual that's driving be able to hop into town because it's going to take me.
Go into town. I need some more ice. I need some electrolytes.
And the van's fully equipped, which should be good. It has a little fridge, which is nice. So that should hold a decent amount of things. And Meal Pros is actually going to be sending me the first week of stuff, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Nice food.
Yeah, I'm so excited. He's like, "Yeah, I'll hook you up with 21 meals," and I was like, I need to send that email. Don't worry, it's coming, guys. But yeah, like there'll mainly be stops, and from what I've heard from a lot of the runners is my foot health, and I'm going to eat absolute junk. Like to get stuff in, like because I could burn up to like 6,000 calories a day.
Wild.
Yeah, I don't even eat that much right now. Like I eat 3.5, maybe 3,500 calories, and that's on a great day.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna eat donuts at every like I don't know. I'll probably have everyone will probably realize my cravings.
Yeah.
I love gas station. I love dopamine. I love gas station sugar. I love slushies. Doesn't mean I eat it all the time, but this walk will maybe not be the best example of my discipline to food.
It will still be interesting to watch your journey. I'm super excited for you.
Yeah, it's brought so much to my life and an opportunity to step into things that steps me into leadership that I've always wanted to be in, and the opportunity just to like all I'm doing is walking and talking about a friend that changed my life and sadly left too early, and everybody can resonate with that and find a way for them to show up for friends that they still have around. And like that's not hard. That's like the heart that literally like whatever you think, whatever anyone feels like, that's literally what makes my heart feel softer.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
No, it's so cool.
But it also doesn't mean I won't slap a bitch. Somebody that's mean. Something mean.
Don't be mean.
Friends that I think that's the thing is you don't have to be so soft. You can be so soft and vulnerable. It doesn't mean you can't have boundaries to protect yourself. Because that's probably the thing that scared me the most with AJ is I think he wasn't able to figure out ways to set boundaries so that he could keep his light lit. And I think too many people that are excited about living life in that manner have a tough time with that people-pleasing aspect. And that's one thing that like I had to learn. So there's nothing wrong with being that cracked open, but it doesn't mean you allow everybody vulnerability once you've given it to them. Like, and people have the ability to always be in that again. But like, if that makes me feel so safe and I generate that, then it's pretty easy. We'll see how I feel on the walk, but
well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're over time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corey.
Bad.
But I wanted to ask if there was a piece of advice that you could give someone, anyone that is struggling, we'll say mental health, we'll say physical health, anything, and they're in that shit's over, I'm stuck here forever state. Is there, what would be, I guess, maybe a starting point for them to slowly get themselves out?
I think the number one thing that you can do is get in front of someone above all else. And that means like if it's going to be fitness, like show up, have somebody that you know you're going to meet at the gym. That'll change you. Have someone you know you can call when things are not feeling well. Like I just don't trust my own strength enough to make the best decision for myself when I already am in those emotions or in the ability that I'm not doing it myself. So use your community. And aside from that is then find the least taxing step that you can achievably make that you're still proud of yourself to do. And by that, I mean, I say find your mailbox.
Mm.
You may not be able to make it to the gym, but I'm sure you can walk to the mailbox once.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah.
I
One of my favorite
love
things.
that.
Find your mailbox. Check your mail, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah.
My mailbox is 7 minutes away, by the way. Round trip.
Oh my god.
Round trip, 7 minutes.
What's funny is mine's like 5 minutes away too. So I'm always like, I could not check the mail. And I was like,
I could drive.
or you can find your mailbox. I was like, gosh dang it.
I love that. Okay, I'm gonna start using that more. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming here. We will link all of the great things that he talked about down below in the description. You guys follow him on Instagram, Kamut.
Kamut. Yeah. Walking with AB on Instagram or the Next Step Movement. Kamut is just Alex Bradley. TikTok, I believe, is the Next Step Movement of some kind, and I'll make sure that's on there. It's only got one video, but we're learning.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Literally just post one, and then
Yeah.
you post it on the other one.
And then just
Ding,
doot,
ding,
doot.
ding, ding, ding.
And then the GoFundMe, which just to make sure it is on there. That's also, I do sound effects in life.
No, I
think
love
also
it.
If you don't do that, that's kind of a waste.
Sound effects are very important.
Waste of an opportunity. So, all right, support Alex's 2560 mile walk for mental health. So it was the Next Step Movement, but this definitely generates the understanding and the bios in there, how you can help, where the money's going, why it's going there, and how we're going to kick this thing off. And it's one step at a time, needing as much help as possible. And what you can is probably more than I deserve.
Ooh, shit. Okay.
Yep.
Closing out. Let's just fucking enjoy this. Good job.